I can even show it to you guys. So this is the file, just one field, empty default constructor, and constructors with string parameters, method to compare them, and equals and hashcode and a toString. I have a test for that, so I'm going to create one in Kotlin, of course. The first thing I'm going to do is check if the same password compare equally. I'm going to use equals, but in Kotlin equals is the same as double equal sign, so it's going to suggest it. And because foo equals foo, then the equals should be true. I could also assert that they are not identical objects. Identity is, by the way, checked with 3 equal signs. And also that they're not true if they're different. Should not be equal. And now if I run it, they obviously pass. I will check if the tests are worth something. So I'm just gonna make them both fail, see if they're really showing something. And they do. And now I can start refactoring. So first of all, we know that we could handle the equals hashcode stuff with the simple equals and hashcode Lomboki stuff. But we won't keep them. We want to refactor them to Kotlin, so we'll keep those. I was really surprised when I learned that Kotlin objects automatically implement the hashcode and equals method, so the implementation is not needed at all. And now we'll just copy and paste it and let it do its magic again. Yeah, we don't need this. We don't need those either, because it's by default. We'll just run the test and see if it didn't break anything. And the test still pass, even though there's no equals or hashcode methods, because they're built into Kotlin in every object. I mean, you can override them and implement your own hashing and equals, but it's just really convenient that you don't have to do it, that they're always not equal by design, even though they contain the same data. It created nullable strings by default, because in Java everything is nullable. You can pass null everywhere, and you have to use not null annotation if you don't want it to be. Since I don't have any of those in my code, the IntelliJ assume that it's nullable, but I don't want it to be nullable. I would like them to be not nullable if that's an option with this clean syntax. Now I can remove this completely. Yeah, it looks a bit cleaner. It does resemble Java class a bit, but it's not as Kotlin as it might be. So we can make it more Kotlin-ic. For example, we have a separate declaration of the field and a constructor for it. We can handle it with one syntax trick. And now you can see that this is both field declaration and a constructor. Of course, no complaints because it's not using the constructor now, but we can fix it really easily with this great syntax for it, in my opinion. And the same for here. So that's the most Kotlin-ic way of writing constructors. And of course it failed. It failed because of this default argument here. Well, default arguments are valid in Kotlin, but they aren't in Java. Java doesn't see overloaded constructors, one with this plain argument and the second with both of them. No, it sees one default constructor and one constructor with 2 arguments. So this would only work in Kotlin. So in Kotlin you can do password and password plain and password salt, whereas here this is the default one, which is here, but you can't do the same thing in Java, unfortunately. So we can run with the default one and the overloaded one, but the one with default argument won't be seen. So if you want to use default arguments, you can use them in Kotlin, but Java won't recognize them. So we just have to walk around that like so. If you don't want to refactor it like that, your only option is to remove the optional argument and create it two overloaded constructors like so. The first one is overloaded, the second one is 2, and now we can just call them like so. I will go with the optional one and keep it here because eventually I would like to move this class to Kotlin as well, so the problem will just disappear then.